Hello, Passavant community, and thank you for tuning in to Monday Morning Madness, where we share news of the upcoming activities and the events. Throughout the week, you can also find most of these announcements and details on Channel 900 and in the Life and Times. I'm Jean Herensky, and here with me is
Jan McGee.
And here are the current announcements.
Ladies, sign up today and tomorrow, June 30th and July 1st at the Greeters Desk in the Abundant Life Center lobby for the next Ladies' Night Out, which takes place next week on Wednesday, July the 9th. It's taco night, too.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Michael Sadecki, the Human Jukebox, will be entertaining us with his keyboards and vocals today, Monday, June the 30th at 1:30 in Shoal.
The Basement Band Duo will be performing in Shoal tomorrow, Tuesday, July the 1st at 1:30 p.m. They're good.
Wow, there's a lot coming. And country and western singer Dale Krasinski will be entertaining us on Wednesday, July the 2nd at Shoal from 1:30 to 2:30.
Father Jim Weiner will be here this Thursday, July the 3rd for a Catholic Mass at 10:30 a.m. in Siemens Chapel. He will also be available for confession beginning at 10 a.m. in Christ the Mediator Chapel.
Oh, and here's a good one. The History Hobo is back for a new season.
Good.
Beginning this Thursday, July the 3rd. This week's topic will be American History Trivia. Please note that the start time for the History Hobo has been changed from 1 p.m. to 1:30.
That's good at 1:30.
Yes.
This Friday is Independence Day, July 4th, so think about enjoying a 4th of July buffet with your friends in Shoal Conference Center. There will be open seating from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. The buffet will be $20 per person and will feature barbecued chicken, barbecued ribs, Italian sausage, and several sides and desserts. It all sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Please call dining at 3590 extension to let them know if you'll be eating with us.
Okay. And due to the 4th of July holiday, the monthly Walmart bus trip has been moved from Friday the 4th to next Friday, July the 11th.
That's a good thing. A Taste of the Symphony concert series with the Butler County Symphony Orchestra will take place on campus most Sundays at 1 o'clock this summer. This Sunday, July the 6th, in the Shoal Conference Center, they will feature a brass quartet.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, and the sign-up sheet for the July 14th Men's Night Out will be on the Greeters Desk in the Abundant Life Center lobby next Monday and Tuesday, July 7th and 8th. Details are in the Life and Times.
And there still is time for you to help with the Train Club with their summer project. What is it? It's a collector's wall of metal train signs. Think about purchasing a sign for $10 or $15 and just stop by the train room on Wednesday mornings to help.
That's great. I'm glad to see they're doing that.
I got my sign this
You
morning.
too. Come hear Pat Septak on his accordion next Friday, July the 11th at 6 p.m. in Shoal. He'll be playing the greatest hits of the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Campus volunteers from our residential community should watch their mailboxes in the upcoming days for an invitation to the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon, which will be held on Friday, July the 25th. Interested volunteers will need to RSVP, and the details will be on the invitation.
Oh, that's going to be a nice thing.
Yes.
Seaman Memorial Church invites you to choose from 3 Sunday services. At 9:15 a.m., there's a service at New Haven Court. Then at 10:30, there's a service in Seaman Chapel, which is also broadcast live on Channel 900. And then at 10:45, there is a service at Wittenberg Place.
Oh, and the Zillionople Water Department has announced they will be conducting maintenance for the water distribution system throughout the end of July. As a result, residents may experience discolored drinking water and/or a noticeable odor of chlorine in the water. Should you experience discolored water during this time, let your cold water tap run for several minutes until the water comes clear. If you have any questions, please contact the Zarianople Water Department.
Oh, just how wonderful, huh? Oh, and the Gently Used shop has new summer hours. It is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. till 3, and also on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 3 based on available staffing. The Gently Used shop is located just down the hallway from the creamery and resells high-end clothing, jewelry, and home goods. You have to stop. There are
Give a
things.
good buy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then there's just a reminder to you that the gift shop is open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, and it carries many of your needs and gifts. Thank you for watching this edition of Monday Morning Madness. If you missed any of the information, you can find it on the Channel 900 slides or in the Life and Times. Please continue to watch Channel 900 for throughout the week for daily updates and cancellations. And if you're interested in reading the announcements, sometimes just stop by the media services, and on the door of the office you will find a sign-up sheet, or you can just talk with Owen. Thank you for being with us today. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Are you ready for the story? Yeah. Okay. Once upon a time, in the quaint little town of Zarianople, Pennsylvania, was a small but mighty dog named Maverick. He was nicknamed Max for short. He was adopted from Latrobe Rescue in 2020 and was allegedly born on February 14th, 2014. Records showed he was a unique mix and had characteristics of a clever Cairn Terrier, a bold Yorkie, and a gentle Shih Tzu, if you know what all those dogs are. Though small in stature, his heart was as big as the scenery of the Pennsylvania hills and tall trees that surrounded their third-floor apartment at the Passavant Lutheran Senior Life Continuing Care Community. Seems everyone loved his floppy ear, but Max, you could visit some, huh? Unfortunately, he soon became known as Max the Ferocious Barking Guard Dog. He protected his mom and neighbors from everything that moved on Burgess Drive, knocked on the door, walked outside the building, and wore baseball caps or carried large objects. Max especially didn't want any other dogs around Burgess Drive. It was his domain. He seemed to believe it was his job alone, not some other dogs, to protect everyone that lived there. He enjoyed the special attention and treats most of the old people gave him because he was sure they realized he was dedicated to protecting them from everything that moved. Why else would he get treats? He didn't understand that people any age, especially the old people, we're at number 2, go ahead, you saw it on here. He didn't understand that people any age, especially older people, could not tolerate a small dog barking with an incessant nerve-wracking bark. They knew he wouldn't bark while eating treats, so they always gave him treats. He just couldn't understand why his mom and other friends, like Miss Nancy, Mama Donna, Mama Elaine, and Daddy Charlie, and even Miss Lindsay over there, were always telling him to hush or stop barking. Didn't they know he was only protecting them all? So he just kept on barking anyway, because he was sure that was the job God wanted him to do.
You didn't tell me to go to this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not doing good at telling her where to go.
I can't be bad if she doesn't tell me.
All right, maybe they didn't know that was his official job. When he barked, his mom would sometimes make a click. I don't know if there's a picture of the clipper. Make a click noise and blow a special whistle that he didn't like to hear. So when he heard the click, he would close his ears with the flaps on them. Those are the Yorkie ears. So the whistle wouldn't hurt them. His Yorkie ears really came in handy. Mama Elaine would just say shh to him and speak in a really low voice, and Mama Donna, another neighbor, would do the same or lean down so he could kiss her. Being able to kiss her really stopped the barking. On the other hand, Daddy Charlie, however, seemed not to mind the barking and would have him sit, shake hands, and then reward him with wonderful treats. So he was really confused. He did notice that everyone spoke louder than usual to Daddy Charlie, and he wondered why. Max, you're gonna wake everybody up. One day, his friend Miss Nancy, who walked him all around campus, let his leash stretch to the full 26 feet. While she was talking to someone, he ran over to the fish pond. Have y'all seen the fish pond out there? He always hoped one would find its way to flip over the edge so he could catch it, because he'd never seen a live fish. His mom sometimes fed him bits of tuna fish, which he loved, and even wondered if goldfish would taste the same. Number 6. That's the fish, one of them. When he reached it, he saw the pond was overflowing and water and fish were just flowing all the way down the sidewalk. So he couldn't catch anything. Anyway, he was awestruck. He couldn't think. Immediately, he stopped barking. Then he heard the fish yelling at him with their teeny tiny voices to get help. He never heard about a fish being able to talk, so he decided he should do something to help. 7. But what could he do? Number 7. He only knew how to run, play, and bark, which no one living here wanted him to do. Oh, he had to do something, so he decided to do the only thing he knew how to do. He went flying back to Miss Nancy. Wait a minute. I think I might have had a different page here. No. Okay. We're going to number 9. Number 8. Number 8, yeah. He went flying back to Miss Nancy, yelling with his loudest barks all the way. The pond is flooding. Come help the fish. And over as loud as he could. Everyone he passed looked with curiosity, some yelling back at him with angry voices. They yelled things like, "Bad dog, be quiet, go away." And they were walking, limping, pushing walkers, and waving canes at him, putting up fists or clapping their hands loudly and shouting even louder. It was deafening. More residents, hearing the commotion, began to follow them to see what was causing all the ruckus. Finally, Max's friend Bob Dickinson saw the water overflowing and the fish floundering on the pavement. I need to untell? That's not yet. In a minute, that one. So he yelled. When he saw that, Bob yelled. I don't have a picture of Bob. That was Miss Nancy, that one he had. All right, this is his Miss Nancy. This part of the story is true. She's a redheaded lady that walks him sometimes. So in the story, she was yelling at him to be quiet too.
Hey, now anyway, you want me to count fish?
Just fish now.
Here, brother. Yeah. What?
No, Max, you don't have to demonstrate how you bark.
Wait.
Anyway, he told her, "You've got to help." And then, where was I now? Okay, more residents hearing the commotion began to follow them to see what was causing all the ruckus. Finally, Max's friend Bob Dickinson saw the water overflowing and the fish floundering on the pavement, and he began shouting for help. He yelled this in his manly voice: "Someone get the maintenance guys! Everyone, be careful not to step on the goldfish and pick them up gently." 11. Soon, even more people arrived and started carefully lifting the floundering fish and putting them back in the pond. Then the fish shouted to Max with their teeny tiny voices, "Thanks for saving us, Max. We are so grateful to you. You did a fantastic job." Max felt so good that his barking had saved the fish and caused maintenance to turn off the water. Evidently, someone, no one knew who, had forgotten to do it, which caused the pond to overflow and take many of the goldfish with it. Then Max heard more loud noise, and when he turned around, he saw Miss Nancy and all the residents smiling, clapping, and yelling at him. "Max is a hero! Max saved the fish! Max did his job! Max is a good dog! We love Max!" Can you all say some of those things? Say, "Max is a hero." Anybody want to say it? Max is a hero. Max saved the fish.
Max saved will keep Max.
Max did his job.
Max did it.
Max is a good dog.
That's right.
We love Max. Well, Max was flabbergasted, and he sat to rest. Since his mom always asked him to shake hands with new friends, he wondered if they were all his friends now. And remember, a while back he came and shook hands with some of you all. He's excited. That's why he's making that noise. It's called a reverse sneeze. And he does that when he gets excited.
He's excited.
Yeah, there were just too many hands to shake, so he just waved his left paw. His mom always said he was left-handed like his brother Aaron from Indiana. As he waved, he thought, "I hope my brother Aaron will now be proud to be my brother." Max, can you sit and shake somebody's hand and show how you do it? Put your paw up. Shake hands. He kind of did it. His mom got him in her arms, that one, and kissed him, telling him how proud she was that he saved the fish, and especially how much she loved him and how thankful she was that God had saved him for her to adopt. He was so embarrassed, he tried to wiggle out of her grasp, but she held him tight, didn't she? She holds you tight, doesn't she? Later, his mom FaceTimed his brother Aaron. His brother Aaron is my middle son that lives in the state of Indiana. She held the phone down and he saw Aaron say, "I am so proud to be your left-handed brother, Max. You're such a smart and good dog who did his job." That really made Max super happy to know Aaron loved him now as well as all his friends at Passavant. Oh, he thought, maybe their ears are tiny like the fish, so I'll try really hard to only bark loudly when it's necessary. I like doing my job, being their hero, good dog, and especially getting treats. Now, every fable has a moral, this one included. The moral is, the loudest barks matter, but wisdom lies in knowing when to bark loudly and when to be quiet and listen. That's a thing to remember. Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed this fable about Max. And when I first got him, he wasn't very social because we think he had been abused. He's a rescue dog. He's 11. That's what they say he is. And now he's getting more socialized. You see him kissing Lindsay.
You never gave me kisses yet.
Yeah, that's like he, when he kissed he would stop barking when he kissed his mama Elaine.
My name is Corey Limer. Corey Limer. Yeah, and I've been in Pittsburgh for about 25 years. Born and raised in Ohio. Lived in Colorado for a while. Enjoyed the mountains, and then I moved over in 2000 with my wife, and we got married. And she got a job here, and I didn't think I was going to stay in Pittsburgh, but now we've been here 25 years. Raised all three of our kids here. And we find it a wonderful, wonderful town. And pardon me? What do you do? So right now I've always been in technology and delivering software or technology projects. So I spent a lot of time in the healthcare industry with Aetna, Coventry, CVS, and then Highmark. And recently I changed industries into manufacturing. And I'm working on leading a digital transformation effort where there's a manufacturing company doing things in old-fashioned ways, and they need to be able to adopt newer technologies to be able to scale. They have an opportunity to scale, and they have a lot of competition from overseas with inexpensive labor, and so they need to be able to transform to be able to grow. And so that's what I do in the day job. My friend David, I met David a few years ago. I'll let him introduce himself. Okay.
Good afternoon, my name is David. I'm originally from Nigeria. I moved to the United States July of 2022 for my graduate program at Larish University, where I graduated last year, May. I recently got hired to work for an IT consulting company here in Pittsburgh, precisely in Monrovia, working up to IT solution support for the company. I'm married. Except for my wife, we live in Monrovia. She's a registered nurse. And I volunteer with Decision Center to kind of provide technology support. And as a matter of fact, I got to know this place through Corey, who has been helpful to my journey here in the United States, helping me to network, and also kind of be involved in doing any for work. And at this point, I can say he's someone who actually showed me how much I can do with my skills and time. So I volunteer here, and this is part of what we do, provide technology support. And we had this before where we talked about cybersecurity, and today we're looking at artificial intelligence. And like he said, it's huge. We are looking at how we can make it simplified so that it kind of makes sense, and we understand from generative AI to how the AI can put us at risk, and how we can leverage it to have better lives. Thank you.
I'm gonna give this to you. So are there any topics that you said start from beginning or start from preschool? And that's where I went a little bit, is that it takes a lot for computers to learn. And it takes a lot of energy. So that's where I went into the power usage. But so I asked that question to someone, a family friend of ours, and she said, her answer was, well, how do I know whether I can trust the answers? Because she's heard of hallucinations from AI. And so we've talked about that. And then she said, well, how, then she said, well, what can I do with AI? Because what I do day to day is not in the computer work you're doing. So those are some of the questions that she asked. But I'm wondering if that's similar to what your questions are, or if you may have something different.
There have been a number of articles in magazines and papers about what a challenge it is, AI, to verify for the public and for educators. When you have kids who could use AI to write their papers, to write their introductions to colleges and so on.
Right.
So I guess my question basically is, do you see any way down the road where an AI could have some kind of identification that it's not for real?
Yes, that is a challenge right now in school. So I use AI to help my kids learn, but I also have my kids that my son actually specifically got in trouble for using AI and not modifying it not using it the appropriate way to be able to do his work. And so educators have a tool that they can put in, that when they get the information, they actually put it through a tool, which is AI, that says, is it generated by AI? And it will tell you what percentage of AI it was generated from, or the probability of that was generated from. So as the kids use it, then the teachers have to have a mechanism to try to figure out how not to use it. But then AI is everywhere. And so now the question starts to shift about how to stop kids from using it, but how for them to use it to learn. So my kids are 23, 20, and 17. And so my 17-year-old, the one that got in trouble, is actually going to college soon. And so when we went to a college visit recently, I asked about the AI program, and there wasn't a lot. So I was like, well, that's not good, because you have to be able to learn this stuff to be able to be educated right now. And so there's that balance, that balance with everything in new technology that, okay, we need to leverage it, but how do we leverage it but still be able to learn? So yes, the simple answer to your question is you can identify from a probability perspective. So I predict that, this came from AI, and it's pretty accurate, but it does take more time and resources to be able to do that.
How expensive would that be, let's say, for educators to get that piece of equipment?
So it's pretty free. I mean, not pretty free. It's economical. So there are many tools that are free that you can use, or a subscription basis. So I have a friend that's a college professor, and she uses it. The college gives that tool to her to be able to use, to be able to inspect that work. And then obviously the teacher that we got a note from the school, that school provided that software to them too. Yeah. So it's easy. It's very accessible. And so I do have some examples to show if you guys think about, hey, what is AI? How would I even use it? I mean, if you have those questions, we could go there as well. I mean, when you think of AI and your usage of AI, do you think you've used it, or you're not sure, or you've actively tried to use it? You haven't tried.
I've used ChatGPT
Right.
Maybe 4 or 5 times. There for like an introduction that is welcoming and that gives the information I need to use. Then what's the best way to have an 85-year-old's birthday? Mm-hmm. My worst AI was April Fool's Day. I live at a senior center. What are some good April Fool's jokes? They were awful. I mean, they just, but maybe that wasn't their area.
Well, it's interesting. So I try to listen to how you described that, and your questions were Actually, the last question was the most specific.
Yes.
Right? But when you're talking AI, so this is in a specific tool, you have to assign it a character.
What's the character?
A role. So if you're talking to a grandchild and say, okay, well, now say you're teaching them how to how to ride a bike, you might say, now you have to put yourself in a position that you are a bike rider. Imagine other people riding a bike. Now, as a confident 7-year-old, I want you to get on this bike, and I want you to you can't pedal slow. You have to pedal fast, and you're going to have to go downhill. Don't go uphill to learn how to ride a bike. So you have to give specific instructions. So as an 85-year-old birthday party, you might want to, or an April Fool's joke, you might want to give some context to that. So you are an expert party planner, and I want to have a party that I want to have balloons, or I want to have, a red and white theme, and a mat, and then teach that computer what you want to happen, versus just sending a generic term. Another trick is when you ask a question, ask it to think step by step. So,
and again, I didn't understand what you said.
Sure. When you type in a chat to it, have you seen a chatbot? Okay. Mind if I show it?
Please.
All right. All right. How do I get out of my screen here? Okay, so this is what you call a chatbot. So a chatbot is a conversational application like ChatGPT. There are many names for chatbots. There's many chatbots. And so ChatGPT comes from OpenAI. And so there's also Gemini from Google, and there's Claude from Anthropic. So different names, different brand names of chatbots. So now we have an ability to ask it a question. So what would we like to know? You want an April Fool's joke? Or would you like... Let's ask together.
Corey, I think it would help maybe talking in the microphone. I think.
Is this not working?
Well.
Oh, sorry. All right, my fault.
No hard.
What would we like to know from the computer? We could go as easy as what's the weather like today, or help us plan a party.
My batteries died. I think I messed up. My batteries died. Here, this one should.
Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. So let's start with an easy one. What's the weather like in Sealy? Did I spell it right? So this is the chatbot thinking.
It's too small.
Yeah, it sure is, isn't it? Let me see if I can get it bigger. It's even smaller, right? Yeah, it won't come big. All right, we'll get there. So this is just a question. The top, I just asked it a question. So the computer is actually thinking through the steps, and then it said that it gave the weather for this evening. But that was a very generic ask. or a question. So
What sources does it use to find the answer to the weather?
So some chatbots have access to the internet, so it can decide that the weather needs to have current information, and so it goes to the weather. And what it's actually doing is predicting so then it goes to the weather and it finds out the answer, and then it brings it back. But most answers, that the way that you can speak to it from a common language perspective is called a LLM, and that's a big set of data that it goes in and it knows what other people have asked, and so it repeats it back in similar answers. So a chatbot is good for retrieving information that has already occurred. In this case, we did the weather because it was able to get to the internet. But most times the chatbot is good for summarizing or synthesizing large amounts of data. So, but let me get back to the question about teaching a computer by setting it a role. Let me go in.
We have no idea what you're looking at.
I'll make it big in a second.
I was gonna say I've used this display settings, and you know how you can choose like how if you go to Apple, like Apple top left, then you do like then you go to like
display,
maybe like display, yeah.
Hey David, while I'm trying to get my display settings, you might be able to help answer some questions that I'm struggling with.
And I think it usually.
So he's saying he gets information sometimes from the internet, and sometimes people have asked questions before.
Is that better?
And what are the other
Maybe just go to
ways
main
that
directory.
it gets knowledge?
All right.
So maybe X out here, sir.
Yeah, but do I need to make this bigger?
Teaching someone
Yeah,
who doesn't know
usually I've seen like sport blocks, and you can choose the largest one.
Just visualize the brain as a tabula rasa.
That was hit.
Something that is just,
Hit X,
for instance, let me think of something I don't know how.
and then go to like.
I don't know how to.
Go ahead, you want to drive?
Yeah, is it okay?
I don't know how to bake. All right. But I'm a machine that wants to learn how to bake, to be able to give answers to other people when you ask me how to bake.
So this is.
So your question is, where is this AI?
Different means.
Where is the source? So what happens is that AI is actually trained by people. For instance, you can come today and say to AI, let me just give an example. My parents in my country, Nigeria, they are planning an event on Sunday. I wanted to know if it's going to rain in my village, in my community on Sunday. There are some remote countries in Africa that somehow the satellite has not been able to increase their information.
Yeah. You see.
But the thing is that as people keep giving some of those queries online, you can have something like, oh, I do not have any results for this particular thing.
Nice.
And after 2 weeks,
Which one?
you'll be surprised when you go back and ask AI
Okay.
particular
That
thing.
menu bar though.
It has tons
there.
of
Got it.
answers for you.
There you
So
go.
AI is actually learning from prompts.
No, that's.
There's limited
Your
knowledge
stream.
that is put into it by the creators of this AI.
If you go back to here,
Then as people send in queries, the AI is learning to get more intelligent.
Bill.
Move it. So let me see if I can find something that's not so small.
Somebody can say, let's train this machine to give the basic baking skills. Buy flour, get sugar, and all. It could just be all that the AI knows they want. Then before you know it, there's just thousands of requests from people all over the world asking the AI, what's the quantity of sugar I should use? All right. Now, there are so many other people who have written articles, published videos in different other places. So this is a very amazing stuff. So the AI is so intelligent to be able to go and source information from published papers, from experts, from videos made, people all over and gathered. So what happens when you see the chatbots that Corey was trying to show? The AI is running an algorithm. What it is actually doing is that it's fetching every available resource online concerning that particular query or question that you are asking, compares all of it, and tries to bring the correct answer. If you are not comfortable with the answer it has given to you, you can do another prompt and say more. It will give you more and still ask you, do you want more information? If you say, oh, make it shorter, it will shorten it. You say, oh, explain it to me as though I'm a 5-year-old. It will just give it to you as though you're a 5-year-old. Explain it to me as though I'm a university professor preparing for a class. It gives it to you that way. So the source, to answer your question, is tons of material.
Yeah, that's it.
AI has the intelligence to actually access to be able to is okay here. So we're around a fully being. What should I treat if I'm having a headache? AI is.
I think this is good.
But there are experts who have written papers, articles, there are consultations, public records.
Okay.
For instance, how many? It can just be anything. So the AI is just a machine that is learning. Before it became viral, what I used to say to people is that before AI became big, the thing that actually became big was data analysis. We are gradually shifting from the era of data analysis to artificial intelligence. Before COVID, shortly before COVID, all we're hearing is how much people can do with data. There's so much you can do with data. For instance, you can just put on the search box, how many people in Africa need
Clean water.
clean water? Right? There are people who, there was this project I did when I moved to the States in a data analysis class. We were trying, my professor who handled us on data analysis, it was a project and we had to just be creative and choose what we want to analyze. I wanted to do something fun, and I led my group to do a project on what is the impact of screen time, how much people spend looking at their phone. What is the correlation with the divorce rates in Mexico? That was my analysis. And we went to their bureau, their data, like government, this is where they have public data, divorce rates, age bracket. We went to Facebook, Instagram, their public records on how much time people in Mexico spend watching TV, pressing their phone, using tablets, using computers. We plugged it in a particular tool called R. R helps you to run some of those correlations, and we were able to actually see a positive correlation between the amount of time people spend on their phone and the divorce rates in Mexico. So my point is to say that before AI, to answer your question, where does it source all of this things? Data. There are tons of data in the internet that if you just want to just have an insight, how many seniors live in this particular senior center? How many of them are between the age of this and this? The data are available. So that when you ask those kind of questions to an AI machine, it has the intelligence to source all of this available data to give you something close to 99.99% accurate answers. But just like Corey is also trying to explain, you must know how to kind of write some of those prompts and get questions, because like they said, the AI machine is learning And sometimes some of those things, if there are no many data available, can recount some answers that are not like exactly accurate. But where we are now in 2025, these machines, they don't miss. They are always very accurate. And as more people are using some of these things, they are interconnected. They are getting more smarter and everything. In fact, each time I'm driving, and this is the only place I come to when I'm coming to this part of town. Each time I leave town, can leave Monrovia, and I leave downtown, the intelligence of my phone knows that I'm either going to La Roche or I'm heading to this place. I don't even need to kind of say to it, take me to this place. It's already prompting a suggestion. Are you headed to the senior center and all of that? Why? It's picking my data. If your Google search is on, the moment you finish eating in a restaurant, it's asking you, do you want to leave a review? When you pick up your phone, it's already tracked that you were at Olive Garden. So the point is that the AI interacts with data to be able to understand some of these things.
No, excellent point. And I think that you made an excellent point, the fact that AI is not just a chat GPT. AI is around us with what we do. So it is in our phones to be able to search that data that you're talking about. And so if anyone has Netflix or a TV subscription and you're watching a show and it suggests a different show, that's a very similar, that is AI, but is similar to what David's saying, is it's a computer trying to think about what you'll watch next. And so then it always is offering suggestions. And in the way they make money is the more you watch, the more that you want to watch. And so it keeps on going. And then if David's doesn't have his phone with him, then he can always use the GPS in the car. And the GPS is also an AI because it figures out how to get the best route. And if you have the traffic feed hooked up, it will even tell you to move around the traffic and go to a different direction. So so AI is more than just an interface with ChatGPT. It's more and more embedded into the things we do. There's another example on the screen that talks about online shopping, right? So Alexa tells me if maybe I'm running low on a certain item, and then whether or not I should put it in my cart or not. So that's that same algorithm as David is talking, and David had a excellent point about the data, because it collects that data about us and everything else. And that's when that LLM, you might heard, a large language model. That's all that data and a big data repository. And then now there are email tools that you can help craft an email to people, or letters, or to move emails from, like, to mark emails from your family as important, where or another example of AI in email is the spam. Oftentimes we get lots of spam in our inbox, but there's also a lot of other spam that we don't get because it goes into the junk folder. And that's the computer algorithm looking at to see if it is spam, and what are the properties of that to be able to put it into the junk or the spam folder. A big item from a healthcare perspective is this reading x-rays that this is talking about. I don't know if you can see this. We attempted to make this bigger. I know it's not that big. So both David and my wife are both in the healthcare field, and so that is a tool that AI, to be able to, like these x-rays, is that x-rays often look for very minor items in a grainy picture. And so that computer then can help look for items where someone that has been on a 11, 12-hour shift may not see. So it is sometimes a reinforcement or sometimes a backup. The one thing that that AI can't do is they can't think for the future. So, for an example, that if you think about the diseases, it only knows about the diseases that have happened in the past. It may be able to predict something going forward, but the X-ray example, it knows the shape, it learns from all those pictures, like the thousands of cats. If a cat all of a sudden had horns, then it wouldn't know what it is because it's different. So it only knows from what it was told and what it's stored in its repository.
And I hear that AI will be helpful in creating cures for diseases. How will that happen?
So one of the ways I think it can happen is that cures for diseases and physicians or researchers have to read lots of material.
A voice from the past. It was 7:30 when I went to the garden one summer morning. I wanted to get the peas picked early. They needed to be shelled and then prepared for the freezer. There was a chance of a thunderstorm later in the day. The peas had to be picked before they became too ripe. When I had picked a handful, or about 5 of the green pods, I heard a voice. I looked up, to the left and to the right. I even twisted around so I could see behind me. I saw no one. I must tell you not what I know while I can and before I die. I could feel my pods being pulled away, so I knew it was time. I looked at the leafy plant I was holding in my hands. It was not moving. This place was not always a vegetable garden, said the voice. Many, many years ago, trees grew here, maple, oak, and elm. There were saplings and grass beneath them. Deer grazed on the grass, and rabbits nibbled at the tender green shoots of young trees. Moccasined feet ran above me. At one time, wooden tools and hands pulled on me. Corn was planted along with beans and squash. Once I felt a gentle thud on me. A deer fell on me. Moccasin feet came and pulled it away. Then no more corn was planted. Later, no moccasin feet passed over me. Eventually, I heard sharp, hard sounds like something hitting the trees above me. That was followed by the heavy crashing. The feet above me were shod and heavy. They dragged the trees away. I could hear voices in the distance. Logs were dragged over me to a point nearby where they were being used. Now a cow and a mule grazed on the grass in green shoots. The following spring, the mule pulled a metal tool with a V shape through me. I was raked until I was like fine sand. Corn, beans, and squash were again planted in me. The warm sunlight and falling rain caused them to grow. Later, wheat and oats were planted here in me. Sometimes for a whole summer there would be grasses here, clover, alfalfa, timothy, or a mixture. I thought about what the voice was telling me. I knew eventually it had to tell about my great-great-grandfather coming here. The voice went on. As the years elapsed, creatures with low, deep voices I could hear. Horses came to graze and then pull metal objects over me. The metal objects rolled. They had wheels. Sometimes small, bare feet scampered above.
Then a very heavy and noisy device rolled over me. It traveled above, then away, then near and away again. Trees never grew here again. Recently, I was turned over by a huge V-shaped piece of metal, pulled by the noisy, heavy contraption with wheels. This noisy contraption then pulled a lighter device with teeth that broke me apart. I was being smoothed over by gentle hands. Shallow furrows were made. Small seeds were dropped in them. The shod of feet were lighter, and the voice was softer and higher. Lettuce and peas were grown along with the beans and squash. A white powder was scattered with the seeds. So that is what I had been told by others who lived here before I did. I had finished picking the peas. I was saddened to realize I would not hear this voice again. Next spring, I'll plant peas again, and I will listen for a voice when I pick them.
Yes, Miss Laura Roy, been here quite a while. Tried 25 years with a great big smile. She is just a peach, straight beyond all reach. PRC shows her work without fail. And friends come out, take the entrance drive. Seeing ALCO welcomes forth as they arrive. Better surely come, let us not stay long. PRC shows her work without fail. And oh, the comforting feeling, just to know she's always around. Busy, but never too busy. When needs arise, she can always be found. She's a leader, there's no question. There are many laurels she can surely rest upon. Let us follow her, now applaud her. PRC shows her work without fail. Laura Roy, here's to you, whom we hail.
Finally, the Passaic community would like to take this opportunity to humbly show our appreciation for Laura Roy. For the past 25 years, you have led and grown this loving community. Your grace and dedication reflect everything you touch. From the residents who call this community home, we say thank you, we appreciate you. Please accept this token of our gratitude. She's very angry now. She doesn't like questions. I don't know if she wants to say.
Oh, well, I said to not do anything, so.
We did.
Yeah, you didn't. I love the song, I can't, anyway. I have no words, so,
It's okay.
thanks. It's a privilege.
All right, time for food.